Solo had some real feelings.
He has some serious feelings going on.
He had Mario Van Peebles feelings.
That's true.
They were
Speaking of
incredible.
honestly, Casey, speaking of Mario Van Peebles, do you remember how beautiful he was in the movie Solo?
Honestly, Mick, how could I not? Beautiful bald head,
The
perfect body.
physique, everything.
And the lighting was incredible because it actually, when they first introduce him, and that silo of cone of light that he just is shaded, so you can see how large his pectorals are.
Yeah,
And
I'm on
exactly
my
every
way,
ridge.
Casey.
I
I'm
bet
on
you
my
are.
way because you know
I
what?
bet you are.
I'm doing Noom.
Yes, you are.
Guys, if you don't know what Noom is the revolutionary new app in living healthy lifestyle and losing weight. Noom is our new sponsored affiliate, and you can check out the affiliate link down in the description below or wherever we have Scene Snobs links on Linktree on thescenesnobs.com. But if you don't know what Noom is, it does have daily lesson plans, personal coaching sessions, support groups, tracking systems, and more. They're not into telling you what you can or can't eat because they don't believe in good or bad foods, which is pretty nice. Actually, I had 3 deviled eggs before, and it did not break the bank.
That is fantastic. It's nice that you're able to go so far with this, man. It's great to see the process of the progress you've made on the way, and the process being so much easier than all the struggles I've seen you deal with in the past. So I'm happy you found something that seems to be categorically working very well for you, my friend.
Well,
Noom.
that's the nice part about it is they deal with the psychological side. So, like yesterday, I was sitting there and I got some messages from my support group and my personal coaches, and I listen to them or I read them and I do the quizzes. And I was just sitting in my car waiting for my wife while she ran in someplace, and I got like 5 or 6 of them done. They're only like a minute or two or here and there every day, and they're just like these courses and stuff that you take that really help, and they help you understand like what you want to eat and stuff like that. Like I didn't realize if you have a taste for something savory, if you have that type of craving, eat a pickle. Like if it's late at night or something, rather than make yourself a meatloaf, which I've done, and a meatloaf with some mac and cheese, which I've done, and a way
Noom,
too
which was not a terrible idea.
no,
If you were willing to make it a smaller portioned macaroni and
I
cheese
was
and a
I was
smaller
not.
portioned meatloaf. Yes,
I mean,
that's
there have been times
unfortunately
where I'm
Noom
like,
not possible.
I have a savory tongue right now, and I'm going to order Chinese food,
Noom,
but I
that sounds
love
like a great
pickles.
idea.
When it's dinner time,
Exactly.
not for huge guys like me.
And
Maybe
probably not for like an entire single course with 5 things. Maybe spread it out a little bit.
yeah, I've been there. So, but like they said, like if you have
Noom.
if you have a savory tongue, eat some pickles. And I love pickles, so I wouldn't mind doing that. And like they give you some other things to eat, like hey, try this instead of that. And then it's funny because everything I'm seeing trying, I'm like, I would rather that more than what I'm craving. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give this a try, and it's really been working out for me. I think I've lost almost 20 pounds so far since I started.
That's awesome. Yep.
So
Well, and it's a process. Remember, marathon, not a sprint. So, Noom, just keep
absolutely.
on moving forward, and don't you dare quit on yourself, brother. You're doing great, and keep on going forward with Noom.
Absolutely. Thank you. And guys, if you want to join me, go take the quiz on Noom on our affiliate link down below. Check it out, see if it's something for you. And if you do try it, join up on our Discord. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, and let me know how you feel about it. I want to be there with you. I want to, connect on this because I do
New
like that.
journeys.
Yes. New journeys, new horizons.
Boom. Noom horizons.
I got Noom horizons, guys. All right. Now let's get started with this wonderful review. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Plot Roast. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my partner in crime, Casey the Madman Plot.
Well, thank you, sir. It's a pleasure as always, my friend. Good dear Mick Manhattan. It's a pleasure to see you indeed. As tonight we are ready to discuss one of both of our favorite movies of the 90s, produced by Mario Van Peebles and starring William Sadler. And there's a lot of qualifiers here, and starring Adrian Brody. So the fact that this movie, my favorite of all of those parts,
Solo from now again, and this is in the trivia for Solo on IMDb. Not to be confused, it had a subtitle in 2018 Solo Star Wars story. It had a subtitle on that movie, not to be confused with this film.
Absolutely.
So I want to tell you there are 3 things about Solo in the trivia on IMDb. That's one of them. The other 2 are the program on TV that the people in the village are watching is The Day the Earth Stood Still in 1951.
Yep, I
Then the
was aware of that.
but here's the thing. The next trivia says the villagers are watching the film Earth versus the Flying Saucers. So the trivia in this can't even agree on whether this movie works or not.
I feel like that's what we need to do is just add more to the trivia on IMDb. It's just
100%.
continue to tell them the wrong movies that's on there. It's
1000%.
iRobot.
Yeah, so before we start, let's talk to everybody and tell them what Solo is about. So Solo is a science fiction movie from 1996 starring Mario Van Peebles, Adrian Brody, William Sadler, Barry Corbin, and
Barry
so many
Corbin.
more.
Yep.
Barry Corbin was
Sadie
great.
Lopez, the awkward 19-year-old girl who falls in love with the robot Mario Van Peebles. She gets googly eyes for him.
And doesn't
Damien
understand why he doesn't love
Bichir,
her back.
The kid playing
Oh my
Rio.
god! Don't even get. I got. Trust me, I got enough to say on the kid. But so the whole story, to sum it up, is a robot soldier named Solo escapes after learning that he's going to be deprogrammed because he didn't want to kill non-combatants on his first mission. So the army all of a sudden thinks, all right, he doesn't work. He's not following orders. And so he escapes into the jungles, meets up with these same non-combatant villagers who are being roused by a drug cartel.
I'm pretty sure it was some kind of rebel faction, and they
Something
were
like
being
that.
forced to build an airstrip in this by
Ugh.
this rebel faction. I think they said Nicaragua,
There's so much
maybe.
going on in this movie. I don't even know if it's Nicaragua. You could definitely tell it's Contra based.
Yes,
And so like, but I
Contra
think
heavy.
they said Mexico at some point.
Did they?
I
Or
think so.
Venezuela?
It's something, but
Ah,
it's definitely not a country we were ever at war at in the 90s.
well,
Um,
DEA was always.
that's true. So it's so weird too because there's another subplot going on in this movie where Solo escapes, he goes, and William Sadler plays a sadistic like captain or colonel or whatever he is.
He's a colonel. He's a
He
colonel.
is a
So
colonel.
he's a colonel, a la Stephen Lang in Avatar. Like Stephen Lang from Avatar definitely tapped into this role. You could feel what he pulled from this role from the character.
1000%. You were never wrong on that because even the look kind of came into play. So William Sadler, he did a great role, and this is
Oh,
coming off like the like close to no, actually, Die Hard would have
Demon Knight?
been no Die Hard. Yeah, I think Demon Knight would have been right before this. So
Yeah.
it's very odd. Like he is this colonel who hates Solo for what you can only think is he hates robots or
Clearly
AI.
he's an anti-robotist.
Yeah, I guess he thinks that humans work better, even though the Solo program is supposed to be about
Saving lives.
saving lives and such. Although I guess you can't make any more Solos because it's like they never explain anything in this stupid movie right way. Because at one point you see Solo as like this skeleton or
Mhm.
whatever, like with muscle. You know, it was a body without skin,
It
but it
was
was a
like a weird
robotic body.
synthetic muscle, but it was like it
Oh,
was
so
supposed to look like muscle. Like it was clearly a bodysuit that was just they kind of slapped some stuff on top of. They
and
just
one
went, "Hey, let's go to a Radio Shack because those were still around." And they just found components. And someone who on staff luckily was smart enough to go, well, technically it would be your capacitors that would be the ones holding the power. Because whenever at least they were holding circuit boards, they had capacitors on them. It made me feel that much better. Like there was a moment of
oh
detail.
my god,
Major props to the prop department in this flick because
this
they definitely picked up on that.
this whole movie was made in a warehouse or outside. That is
Well,
the best
yeah,
way to describe it. Is in a warehouse or is outside in a park in Florida.
but different angles of it.
Yeah. Oh my god. So all right. So when I say warehouse, I mean it was like that weird time in the 90s where either bad guys or the military just worked out a very dark room that had
Mhm.
computers in weird places. Nothing was up against the wall. You didn't even see walls, and it was just weird overhead lights that were over the things they put in the room.
Yep.
And it just never worked, and it's so ominous and weird. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like this is where scientists would work. It's too dark.
What was every single government installation? You know, it was all of those that was so fitting. And then, of course, they try to make it a big deal that you find out that it's a ship midway through the movie, and it's like, no, we get it. We didn't think you were
Was it a
in
ship?
a. Yeah, wait,
Oh shit!
you didn't
All
get
right.
that part?
No, but there's a lot I probably missed about this movie.
It was great because it was a army general telling the ship to get underway.
Oh my god, that's true because he was. They were all army, but you're
Yep.
right. There was a ship.
Hmm.
I don't understand this movie.
It made almost reverse sense.
And so he escapes not captivity because he's not captive. He's a robot. He's
So
a
he
robot.
basically he gets into it. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it. Let's just try and
Okay.
figure this movie out.
So
This could be a
Solo,
puzzle piecing episode.
we jigsaw Solo.
Oh man.
So he has escaped. Sorry. He is on mission. So first he has to go on mission. And he
That's
goes
the
on mission.
airfield.
Yes, he goes to blow up this airfield. Now he sees that there are non-combatants there, and he's like, "Well, my programming tells me not to blow up the non-combatants." So after he plants all these charges, he starts, removing them. Well, when he gets down to removing two of them, all of a sudden, kaboom, boom, they blow up the two remaining, and they're like, "Let's just kill them and go," because apparently that's what you do with $1 billion asset.
I
So,
know,
which
right?
they bring up repeatedly that it's a $1 billion asset. And what's his nuts? Freaking not William Sadler, Barry Corbin, just laughing every time he mentions how much money he's as an army general throwing away. Just laughs at it.
They were so quick to not even try and fix Solo. And here's the fucked up part. And I
Well,
know
they
I
were
don't like
going
the first one
to.
to
They
show.
were going to. The problem is they sent the message too early. If he had just let Adrian Brody come in and talk to him, said, "We need to power you down for a little bit, buddy. We're just going to, when we get back, we're going to take a look at everything." I think he would have been more amenable to it instead of suspending program, send back to Pasadena.
Well, here's the thing that I didn't understand though, because they do say at one point that they have the next Solo ready to go.
Right.
So they're already like, we're done. We're out. We're not dealing with it. And so, but this was one that was just made. That was his first mission.
Yeah, that was his test mission. That was his pilot mission. It wasn't even for other people to see if it was ready to go to trials. That wasn't like the United States government saying, "All right, we're doing this thing." This was the first time they were just trying it out.
I want to know what Congress group. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I want to know what group was probably in Congress or Senate or whatever makes this decision on military. It was like, all right, we're going to give you $1 billion for Solo, but we're immediately going to give you another $1 billion to start a second program in case that doesn't work. When has that ever happened? When have we ever given our military $1 billion? Not saying that it hasn't happened with weapons, but like to be like, we're going to give you this money, but you need to have backup versions. So here's another same amount of money.
The F-35 program.
Like they legitimately build these and then we're going to give you even. All right. Well,
they built them and said, you know what, if they built the original one based off the one that was to replace the Harrier. And they went, great. First, make us the Air Force version. We want to make sure it's a good jet. And then we're going to build that version that you already showed us it can do with the thrust vectoring. And then we're going to also get one for the Navy. So
you don't have to listen. Listen, Casey. I was proving a point in 1996 about technology that doesn't still exist to this day. And for some reason, you've proven me wrong in what I said. Not once, not twice, 3 times so far. And I'm pretty sure if I let you keep going, it would have been at least 4 or 5. And now that makes me sad because it's like I didn't want to believe that they would have a backup Solo mission of $1 billion project in 1996, but now I believe they absolutely did.
Well, the reason for that countdown too is because you're once, twice, 3 times a lady.
That's true.
And I love you.
That whole thing boggles my mind with the fact that it was his first mission. He didn't kill non-combatants, which was part of his programming. And they already had somebody like, well, if he fails, we got somebody else. And it's like, and who was it? William fucking Sadler.
Okay, so first of all, from what we learned about naked skeleton Solo, because
Oh my god.
so after Solo escapes this harrowing incident, so okay, so Solo fails this mission. He gets sent back. A top secret message gets intercepted because Solo is plugged into the whole fucking communications network.
Why would you
So why
ever
would
do
you
that with your AI?
spend right? It was such a terrible idea. He's just jacked in and looks up and goes, "Oh, they're gonna kill me. I'm gonna go over here and steal this helicopter," and is able to override ship controls, because that's another great thing you should give your AI. Holy crap. This is just this is the beginning of Skynet. Solo is how Skynet began because he was so beaten and abused, and then also was able to be given a weird, fucked up sense of humor. So maybe he
No,
thought this was all
see,
a joke.
Solo is how Skynet didn't work out. Like what we should have done was make them see the humanity of the villagers
Right.
and protect them from the Mexican army drug cartel. That I think
Rebels.
is what that was, because there
They
was
said
drugs
rebels. He
involved.
did. He said there were drugs involved, but he
There's
did say
always drugs
rebels a
involved in
couple
the 90s.
times, of course. But he did say rebels. I do remember because I was specifically like,
Oh,
I
okay.
went back trying to see what they were, and all they ever really referred to them as were the rebel army or rebel leaders. So I was like, all right,
No movie,
going with it.
no movie that takes place in the 80s after Star Wars paints rebels in a good light. Like it makes me rethink Star Wars in a lot of ways.
Well, because Star Wars was the one time that like the government or whatever governing bodies went, yeah. We can have one successful rebellion we all get behind.
I feel like Solo
2, if you're counting 1776. That's it.
Solo was the type of movie that was, and I don't say this lightly, was the type of movie that benefited off the lies of President Reagan.
Oh, 1,000%.
But it was like it was made at a time where they still believe those lies. Like they're like, no, this is how it works.
I mean,
Where
that's the same way with every Operation Delta Force, like every single one of those, man. That's what this was some weird amalgamation of trying to put all those together. Like even Spawn did it. Michael J. White's Spawn was just about, the same shit. It was the same intro, it felt like.
well, Universal Soldier, all of them. Well, so but I say Solo because at the end, when not at the end, but the final battle. So, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna kind of go all over.
I was
the place
gonna say, I feel like we got a lot to
we do have
catch
a
up
lot to
on
cover. We have a lot to cover, but I want to cover this point when the American soldiers that are kind of like predator based musclehead badasses that are led by it's like William Sadler's team goes after Solo, and it makes absolutely no sense. They go after Solo. I feel like that was maybe somebody's way of saying, hey, look, this is what bad Americans would do with the Contra. And then you laugh because you're like, in reality, you're like, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But against,
Yeah, absolutely.
Against
Be careful.
everyone else.
Be careful which demon you make or what devil you make a deal with. Or no, what's the line it is? I'm sorry. What's the good advice for making a deal with the devil? Don't.
That's
That
what
was
it is. And it's used twice by the most evil human beings. And they're both like the Star Spangled American
United
General
States
Captain,
Army.
whatever.
And I come on. It was really sad that they had to go ahead and make William Sadler just racist as fuck too. Like, I mean,
Super
just
racist.
annoying and racist. And it's like, oh, good, loud, stupid, dumb, jackass American army guy. That's what we want to be represented like.
Well, I love the flashback. So Adrian Brody is the scientist that creates Solo. He looks like he's 16 and just got out of high school.
Oh man, was he young as all get
He
out.
was and what he was wearing was like dirtbag clothes that I wore at that time.
Same. Absolute same. It reminded me of the guy from GoldenEye,
If there was a person, I don't care if you're an engineer at MIT or whatever. So let's say he's 23 in this, and that's a big butt.
That's a gift.
And I do not believe like he was the 23-year-old that raced through school and got out of MIT at like 20. I do not believe that in any way, because first off, this dude, the whole reason Solo got to look like Solo is because they took the skin off of a dead soldier and put it on Solo. and he got to choose who he looked like.
Mhm.
And Adrian Brody's character, while eating like a bowl of cereal or something, was watching a Bulls basketball game.
Yep.
And Solo was sitting in a chair, and they were talking about, hey, what do you want your exoskeleton or your skin to look like or whatever? And he points at Michael Jordan, and then he flips through the images until he gets to somebody who looks like Michael Jordan, Mario Van Peebles,
Mario Van Peebles,
and that was like
obviously.
how he got it.
Like
So,
Mike. That's what he
like
says.
Mike.
While that commercial is up, he's just the
Yep,
skeleton version of Solo, like Mike.
like Mike. That's
And
what it is.
so Solo makes his escape, blows up his helicopter, and now he's off running through the jungle and finds these ruins. He gets into these mines, ruins, whatever they are. I really struggle here because now he's lost his main power. He's on his backup generator battery thing. He only has 6 charges, and when he goes into his diagnostic mode, he sees his battery says recharge mode. He has to find a power source to recharge.
Yep.
So who in the frickin' world decided that recharge mode would be napping? Did you notice that? Did you
Yeah.
not struggle with the fact that he took a day to nap? Because if napping is fucking recharging, I'm a cyborg, bro.
Yeah. I don't understand. And like a car battery does it.
Yeah.
Just that $1 billion, $1 billion piece of machinery, and the car battery does that shit.
The few capacitors that he rips out of a television set.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't even
That
get
he
me
sparks
started.
against his body to then be able to clearly get his speech back enough to say, need power. So
Oh,
then he. And then he says need power, but notice how he doesn't actually get to the generator power for almost another half a day.
eh,
Time in this thing was fucking weird.
so he ends up against the villagers, as we said. He escapes. He ends. So they comes like an aerial battle. I don't understand how the military works in this movie. I don't understand. You're right. They're army on a battleship or an aircraft carrier or something, and then he steals He steals a helicopter.
Yeah.
He steals it. It's an aircraft carrier that he steals a helicopter from. Now I'm not saying.
And then he gets airwolfed because the other guys who are behind him are in like what looks like a shitty airwolf.
So at what point does this general who feels he has nothing to answer anybody for say, so here's what you're doing. You're taking, I was like, first off, we're on an aircraft carrier. I'm not saying helicopters don't exist on a aircraft carrier. I know they do. Yeah. But Solo decided to take the helicopter. Fine. Whatever. He's a machine. Dumb machine. Rather than, I don't know why they'd program him to be able to fly, but whatever. He's a robot. I'm down with it. Fine. But he takes a helicopter. He doesn't want the quickest way out. He wants the helicopter. So why did there was no pilots for a plane that could go after him to shoot him down and do it quickly? There was William Sadler's character, like, I'm gonna get in the other helicopter and go. Yeah. And why all of a sudden, because you're a colonel in the army, do you know how to fly a helicopter?
And how about the fact that the general gave him specific orders when he left? I don't want to scratch on that perfect bald head. Yet, when William Sadler, clearly accomplished pilot and fighter extraordinaire, while flying, goes after, I think, a minute and just is like, well, I've got no room. I got to take him down. The general's like, well, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. What was that? Not only do you have to do what you got to do, but like, this is where I'm like, this general is like, I'm gambling with American taxpayer dollars, because in 1996, like, where was Clinton? Must have been getting a lot of blowjobs or something.
Oh, I'm telling you,
not pay attention to the fact that a helicopter was being shot down. That was their own helicopter. It was their own helicopter. Yeah. How are you a covert black ops colonel with your own team and you can't even land the helicopter next to the other helicopter? I don't know.
No, it was terrible. He was terrible the whole way through. So then Solo, after taking fucking nap time.
Nap time. Yeah, and he does, guys. He straight up just takes a nap.
He fucking takes a nap.
He's a robot.
Yeah.
He's a robot. Why
He's
would
a
he need?
robot who goes into recharge mode and specifically says, "I have to find a power source," and then naps.
But he straight
And
he lays down.
yeah,
Why
he
would a
just
robot
fucking
need to
lays
lay
down,
down?
and then his life flashes before his eyes. So then we get into the whole flashback sequence.
This
And
isn't, and this, like, mind you, this isn't Universal Soldiers where they took the body of a dead soldier and like put cybernetics in it. This
Mhm.
is a robot
Yeah,
with just human skin.
like Data in Star Trek, buddy. This is
Yep.
just straight robot.
The
Ugh.
reason they loved having Data on the Enterprise is because he could stay up 24/7. He needed
Yeah,
no they gave him a chance to rest because he, not rest, but like have other hobbies and stuff
go
to
do
go and do.
stuff. Yeah,
But he didn't need to. Solo shouldn't either.
yeah.
Now,
And Adrian Brody trying to defend his creation as being, intelligent, sentient, now growing. It's like, yeah, kind of struggle with that because
but
he didn't
everything
really seem to care as much. I don't know. I struggled with
but
him. He
every
didn't give a
decision
fuck.
he made was based off of like, this is what I'm programmed as. He ran because he had a programming in a system that was like, make sure your self-preservation, his
Yeah.
self-preservation programming. It wasn't Solo like, oh shit, they're gonna shut me down. It was, he heard deprogrammed, and he realized like, oh, my self-preservation's on. If you never turned that on, he would have happily sat there and just got deprogrammed. He wasn't
Yep.
helping those villagers. He was helping those villagers because combatants is what he's supposed to take out.
Yep.
And those combatants specifically, I don't know, because then at the end he does take out the American army, and that shouldn't have been programmed.
Nope. Because
Oh, I
it
guess
says
self-preservation would have
not his
covered that.
teammates. Remember, he says at
Yeah,
one
yeah.
point, he repeats, not combatants and not my teammates, because he kills one of his teammates early on.
Yeah, but self-preservation. See, this is why we picked this shit apart. Um, Self-preservation was his number one thing. So that's
Right.
probably, I'll believe it. Whatever.
But that's the problem is they stepped on their own toes with it.
Yeah,
Or it was a
really
matter of
did.
Adrian Brody just fucking with the program the whole time that he was an evil mad scientist,
I'm still
which
stuck
I
on the
still
money, dude.
support.
I'm still stuck on the money. I'm still stuck on the money because even Adrian Brody went out, and didn't he take his own helicopter? Or did he go with,
Yeah.
oh no, he went with them. He said he was gonna go with them.
He had to go with him. He was being taken in. Yeah.
That's right, that's right.
Because
He
he
wanted
had
to
to
go and talk
also
them down.
he had to reprogram the new Solo,
And he gets
who's
killed.
not Solo, because he had to reprogram new Solo to not feel those feelings,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
And my favorite thing. So all right. So let's tally up how much has been wasted in American taxpayer dollars in this fucking movie, because in the end, I'm skipping ahead. We're already 28 minutes in, and this movie's fucking crazy. And this kid, and they have a kid in an "Eat the Worm" shirt with a picture of
Dude,
a little cartoon worm.
yeah, and it's the same kid who was in, Desperado,
Oh, that
and he
is
was
him.
in Abraham Verduzo.
I don't
So
know
he
who.
was also in, like, ER,
Oh yeah, he seems like I
Breakup.
recognize his face.
Desperado was the big one, Untamed Love, American Me,
Yeah, there's too
and
much.
Radio Flyer. That's where I must have recognized him from. I loved Radio Flyer.
Radio Flyer. Yeah,
Save
I
the
mean he was
geese.
your average. Like I said, they shot this in like the jungles of Florida somewhere probably. I don't doubt that whatsoever.
Oh yeah. And when we say jungles, I'm sure there were some potted plants. I'm pretty sure there's a fucking scene where he's running down a jungle that was a reshoot and was not a jungle. It was a cement hallway that they threw some stuff on each side of and said, "Good enough. Run down there, Mario."
Get to it. The whole movie is crazy. Oh, it was shot in Mexico. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, which makes sense. Okay. So I
Mhm.
still don't understand why the Mexicans were our enemy in 1996, but whatever.
Rebels. Rebels. It's always
But
about
what I mean
putting
is,
down those
from the
darn rebels.
American, no, I'm not saying that at any time Mexico has been been this isn't a McManhattan quote. This is I don't understand why the American army was going after the Mexicans, even the rebel army.
Oh, cartels, bro. That's been since the
But
70s.
I know, but it's just it's so weird and crazy. So they were cleaning up their mess from the 80s. So
Exactly. They were like, well, that was the whole thing in the 90s. That was just testing ground now. That
I
was,
saw Clear and Present Danger. I know what happened.
yeah, see, you're already ahead of the game, bro. Patriot Games, you know what's up.
No, Patriot Games was the Irish.
Whatever.
Sean Bean. No, so
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Sean Bean, another great Sean Bean death.
yeah, it really was. So we get into Solo's now having to fight William Sadler's Colonel and his band of merry men that look like the Predator crew, the poor man's Predator crew.
Mm-hmm.
He takes him out in a much slower pace than he should have because he's a robot and an
Yeah,
elite
that was a
fighting
weird,
weapon.
like, one of them, why was there drowning involved? Like, why is the first murder when he's ready to go against the Americans drowning them? I feel like that's just a really uncomfortable death, especially when you see how quickly William Sadler's Solo could just, like, with their necks. It's like, well,
He's a robot, dude. I don't understand any of what was happening in this.
yeah.
I don't understand any of why he took so long to murder them. He's still like you said. So okay, so he does kill William Sadler's character.
Well, he backbreakers him.
Yeah, like hardcore.
Yeah.
Like he this was the Batman to his Bane.
I
Like
mean,
this
this
is
was
how this works.
100%. This was a Bane knee drop. Cacao.
Yeah. And he kills William Sadler's character. 5 seconds later, William Sadler shows up. He's the next Solo. First of all, General, I think not. Why would you? And then even that goes against because it's like, where did they get the skin? Because William Sadler was still alive. This
And the
movie is
fact that
fucking
Solo
stupid.
gets to choose whoever he wants to look like. So why did this Solo choose to look like the Colonel?
This movie's stupid. I don't know because you can't because he chose a dead soldier's skin when he
Yeah.
chose for Solo. So how they wouldn't even have time to make because they. Oh, I'm so annoyed by this. I'm so annoyed by this. They didn't even have time to. I didn't even think about this part when he showed up. I'm like, that's kind of narcissistic that he shows up in that. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, he shouldn't have never been able to. It
No,
should
he
have been
shouldn't have
somebody you just wanted William Sadler to be the bad guy throughout the whole thing.
as
And I
many
get it.
times as possible. But I mean, I do, but they could have shared the love a little bit.
They should have shared the love a little bit. He should have never even been out there, but he just wanted Solo dead for some reason. Like, I don't even. And here's the thing that messes me up. He had no problem with the second Solo. They
Yeah.
brought him, right?
Yep.
And he was clearly gave the okay to say, you can make him look like me.
Yep.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the racism point. Now, not William Sadler, because we love William Sadler and he's an amazing actor.
No, his character though, the Colonel.
This character, the Colonel, the only logical thing I can think of for why, and I'm going to mention him by name because I don't want anybody thinking William Sadler's bag. Colonel Frank Madden.
No, Colonel Frank Madden.
Colonel Frank Madden's the racist.
And General
here.
Clyde Haynes. Even though
Yes.
I think there's a very strong chance Barry Corbin is racist, but
I
that's
don't
all
think
right.
I don't think he had a problem with the race. It was
No.
Frank Madden had the problem. Because Frank Madden was like, you chose this motherfucker to be our robot.
Yeah, and General Clyde
I
Haynes
should look like them.
Clyde just wanted money, man. He reminded me of all the fat cats and CEO executives just sitting around with cigars, like laughing at let's just light it, let's burn the money, fuck the poor. Like
He
that's what it
literally
felt
was
like
burning.
the whole way.
First of all, this movie burns money in many ways, but he literally it burns the taxpayer dollars by wasting it and saying like, we're going to create one Solo for $1 billion and use that as a dummy to get this next Solo on, but we're going to make it look like this Colonel who hates the Solo program. We're going to blow up helicopters.
It's got to be just a FU. That's what the General programmed it. The General was probably like, hey, fuck that guy. Make him look like him, and we're going to replace his old ass. We're going to show how replaceable he is.
It's so messed up. And there's like no, if this were the actual military, listen.
Here's one to fuck with you.
I always know when when I'm going to a place where I probably shouldn't say what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. If this were the actual way the military worked, like, and I'm talking about real, true I don't even know, like, but not like the military we know, the guys and women that serve that we know. I'm
Yeah,
talking about like if this is how I don't even know because I should kind of and it's art reflecting life at this point.
very
I,
much
I
so.
do I
Yes.
do believe there's generals like this who exist who are like, give me $30 billion.
100%.
I want to drown it.
I just want to find some ridiculous. Hey, you know what's really going to be the future? Hovercrafts. Like that's what they're. That was the same general.
Give me $23 billion. I have this kid that failed out of MIT who likes basketball, and I want him. I want to spend the money on him to create some stuff. And
Big promising. I think I see it here, guys. I'm pretty sure I see it.
I don't. This is why not create two solos at once and then test them on missions like that. I feel like two solos could have because really, let's face facts. That first mission where Solo like messed up or whatever. Well, he didn't mess up. He just didn't want to kill innocent people. Um, eh, I feel like two solos could have handled that mission.
I agree. I think
'Cause it
two would
was-
have made more sense. You would have gotten your partner. You would have actually. It would have meant more. You know what I'm saying? You would have been able to do more. You had your battle buddy. It would have made more sense. You would have had two people coming up as brothers. It would have probably been a better story. But you wouldn't have been able to call it Solo and focus on Mario Van Peebles' pecs.
Well, remember that one flashback scene where he remembers like where they're testing Solo out with all the other military soldiers to
Mhm.
come in and fight him, and then William Sadler like he
Flips
how
him the gun.
he gives the one guy the gun to shoot him, and like Solo takes him and breaks his arm,
Yeah.
and that pisses off Frank Madden even more. And it pisses off Solo when he remembers it, and you're like,
Yeah.
"What? You're a robot. Why is this
You
making you angry?"
It made him mad. Like, he was just ridiculous the whole way through. I couldn't see, like, when especially when he came up with the idea of family, okay?
Oh
When the
my
little
god!
kid brings up the family aspect, it was so shoehorned to try to give this Solo character some sort of more greater, higher feeling like it's missing out on something, and yet the only one in the whole town giving him eyes is this perhaps underage young girl. Well, I'm sorry, man. I looked it up. Okay, the numbers look like she's 19.
Yeah,
She was 19, but she just looked so young, and it
she
just
did.
seemed
Well, she was the
weird.
mom of the kid, wasn't she?
Well, no, she was the bigger sister. I think she was a
Oh,
bigger
was she?
sister.
I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
called her as older sister is what I was going with because she
Okay.
was just giving the eyes to the
I
MVP
mean,
there.
he is a sexy man.
Understandably so, I was too. Look at him, sweet Christmas.
I'm
If
telling you
if you're
now.
a woman and you are want to watch a movie that's going to inspire some joy, Solo's probably your flick.
Yeah, that's legit. But only watch certain scenes. Oh, and how
There's not a
about
whole
when?
lot of blood in this, though. There's not a lot of
No,
blood, murder, and death. When they talk about it, it's all TV-esque. It's all stuff that was safe on
yeah.
USA, you know?
Yeah, here's the thing that messed me up too was remember when Solo got modest and put on a shirt?
Yeah, the one he
Why at
ripped the
any
arms off
point?
of.
Why at any point would Solo feel modesty? He's a
Because he
robot. I
wants to
feel
fit
like they
in.
forgot that he was a robot in this movie and was like,
It was clearly Mario Van Peebles saying, I want to make him feel more human. I want to bring him more human. Like, I mean, everything felt like the music changing was at moments of you wanted to feel more human for Solo. It was so 90s. It was quintessential 90s on every beat, at every point. They were constantly just like, and now shift to this music, heartwarming, say the word family, and scene. It's like,
like
it was awful.
everything that happened in this movie, I would say was better. And I hate to say this because I like Mario Van Peebles so much, but it was better done in Universal Soldier.
Yeah, as much as I do like this one, and I love Mario Van Peebles. I mean,
Because even like the
Posse is
bad
one of
guy
the
in
best
that,
movies ever.
yeah, oh yeah, you mention that all the time though. It's hysterical. There are people who've never heard of that movie before that were around for that time, and you've mentioned that movie way more times than even I. I've never heard you say the words "Young Gun" while we've recorded anything. Young
Because
Guns,
Posse.
and
Because Posse
because
exists.
Posse exists, and it's like that's the one. It's your go-to, and
It is, man.
I'm like, there's so many other westerns. Why don't you
Bro,
ever
you
mention
got
any other western?
Posse, you got Bad Girls, and you got Texas Rangers. That's
I
what's up.
want you gone from the show because those are the three westerns you've named.
You say
And I have
westerns,
seen all
bro?
three. I've seen all three. Oh my god. Oh, Wild. Did you just say Wild Wild West?
No, no,
Oh,
God,
I
no.
said it though. No, damn, I
You
screwed up.
said it. That's
That's a plot roast
disgusting.
show if I've ever heard one.
Oh man, we might have to do something
We
about
might
the
have to
giant
do that one.
spiders.
But I'm telling you, it was Solo. I think like I got in Universal Soldier like why Dolph Lundgren. He didn't like him when they were in Vietnam together.
Right.
So when they both kind of snapped out of whatever they're in, that not trance, but like the control that
Condition.
they were a part
Yeah.
of, they both found their humanity again and then went at it.
Yeah,
And
which
like
was awesome, and it worked.
yeah, Van Damme didn't want to kill Dolph Lundgren,
Mhm.
but Dolph Lundgren did want to kill him. So like, and now they have this power, so it made sense. And I was like, all right, I'm in it. Solo saw Universal Soldier and said, "That's not how we're going to do it."
And Soldier.
And oh my god, no
Kurt Russell
soldier, but
Soldier.
he wasn't a robot soldier. There was
True,
no
he was a
cybernetic.
cyborg, right? What
No,
was he?
he was just a human being. But remember, they were bred from
Ah,
children to be the best.
that's right. I forgot about that.
The
That's what that
second,
was. Okay.
what's his name? He played Bruce Lee in the Bruce Lee story. Jason Scott Lee.
Okay.
He was the next soldier, and that was who they were replacing the soldier program with, and they had cybernetics in them, and that's
Gotcha.
why like and it was the
Wasn't Don the
humanity that
Dragon
separated
Wilson in one of the Soldier movies?
now that I remember.
Ah,
I don't remember, honestly.
all those movies bleed into one. So
Yeah,
like,
they really do.
and then
But
there's well, and anything past Universal Soldier 1 is just the same as Soldier, which is the same as Solo, which is the same as all these. Solo was just done a little less
stupidly,
well. Yeah, it was a
stupidly.
little less good.
It was,
That's
I
the
mean,
problem.
listen,
It's
if you're looking for a robot, all right. If you're looking for a robotic
erotic
action movie
with explosions.
with many explosions and from the
Family.
90s, and there's a lot of them to choose from. That was a huge
Tons.
subgenre in the 90s. We've mentioned a bunch.
Mhm.
Solo was probably shouldn't be your first choice,
Yeah.
but you can go check it out. I will say this though, Soldier is actually it's an unconfirmed sequel to Blade Runner.
Really?
Yeah, it was meant to be that too.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
Takes place in the same universe. But let's take it to the ratings. I want to do the Rotten Tomatoes ratings. So, Casey, Solo.
Yes.
There's the tomato meter, which is the critics, and then there's the
Right.
audience score.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna what do you think from 1 to 100? And you know this is below 50 at
Mhm.
least.
Well, see, here's the thing. So from the critic's standpoint, I've gotta think it's 13.
That's a good
How f
guess.
Okay, and then from the audience score, I'm definitely putting this bad boy at 62.
Wow, you gave this way too much credit from the
I'm
audience.
hoping that the audience came through for me here.
All right. So the tomato meter from the critics is 8%.
Oh,
So
what?
you were off by 5. That's
Oh,
fine.
but I
That's
lost the
pretty good.
Showcase Showdown. Damn.
Um, now the audience score, you said 62%.
Mhm.
This is 26%.
What?
The audience was not in for this.
Wow.
Um, and some some of my
It
favorite
w Okay, I'm willing to guarantee one of the complaints has to be too much William Sadler, which I think Bill Sadler absolutely crushed this role, both of his roles. I think it was too much William Sadler.
yeah, there was a lot of William Sadler. There was way too much
Was.
William Sadler, and that's hard for me to say because I love William Sadler.
So do
Um,
I. He's amazing.
Some of the critics have been saying the action is neither big nor imaginatively filmed enough to satisfy fans of the genre, though
Mhm.
Van Peebles seems to enjoy his crack at sad-eyed Chaplin-esque pathos.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely loved it. He really tried to give it a go. And also, something else that was a little less believable in this was the incredible amount of special forces using blow darts. So
Yeah,
it
there
either
was a
tells
lot.
me
There's too many.
that
There's
there's
too many
either
blow darts for a movie about robots.
lots of blow darts for a robot movie. So that threw me a bit.
He
But
has no air. How does he do it?
also reminded me that I need to go and maybe invest in blow darts.
Yeah, but how do you do it if you don't have air?
Magic?
Did we figure this out?
Maybe Mario Van Peebles has a baffle in his gut. And he's just
Jesus.
Solo has a baffle somewhere system, so it can just
Probably
shoot something out.
Superman breath.
Yeah.
Michael DeQuinoa from the moviereport.com just reviewed this as no review. He had nothing to say about this movie. Dennis King from Tulsa World. He's the Terminator's distant cousin. He's Solo, and he's Jerry built from parts of so many other movies that it's hard to recognize a single original element in this android warrior saga with Mario Van Peebles in the thankless title role.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree
So
with every bit of that.
this movie, Solo, go check it out if you want. I don't think you could go wrong if you're in the mood for an action 90s movie. It lives up to that, but there's so many other ones that are better.
I mean, tons of them.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you're gonna go with it, go with it. But rewatching this was not tough. Like again, it wasn't a tough watch. Like we watched The Stupids, we watched Blood Lake, we watched some bad stuff.
Yeah.
This wasn't up there with that, but it's definitely not a good movie.
No, it is not a good, by any stretch of the imagination, good movie. It's not bad. It doesn't make me sad. I don't feel terrible that we watched it. I definitely remember watching this when I was younger, and I did enjoy it when I was, a younger man. It was fun. It was
Huh.
stupid action. It was silly, and it was enough to keep me interested for an hour and a half of watching a android robot thing try to figure out how to be a human. But
Very
if you're
true.
an intelligent person who already understands how to be a human, avoid this movie.
Very fair. All right,
Also, I
guys.
did a quick calculation, brother.
What's that?
I estimated their losses considering the value of the pieces and what we were looking at, and the loss of life, of course. Human soldiers, big deal. So I've calculated this at approximately $2.205 billion in losses.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
So today's money, that would be $4.163 billion. So they happily pissed away almost $4 billion. And considering what money is in today's inflation issues, watching them piss away all of that really made me angry. It
Yeah.
made me a little
Oh my
sad.
god. Oh my god. They
So
wouldn't
the
even go to
Solo
Radio
budget
Shack
was more
anymore today.
hurtful, right?
Oh my god, everybody. If you like Plot Roast, please join our Patreon. You can also throw out movies for us, part of our perks. I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. We appreciate all the support you give.
We love you so much. We're so grateful for you. Thank you for supporting our station, and thank you for supporting our wackiness. And hopefully we can keep entertaining you.
Well, let's name them so that way we can, because this is a big
Ooh,
deal and they give us a lot of movies. Thank you,
yeah.
Ron Lippett, Jason Taylor,
Mm,
Dale Anderson, Matthew Branch,
yeah.
Aaron Sturdivant, AJ Zyla,
Holler.
Stacy
Meow.
Peters, Paul
Hi.
Dunn, Timothy
Yes.
Forbes,
Ah,
John Burhop, Chris
love you.
Sales, and Dan
Amazing.
Dowell.
Ow.
We love you guys. We appreciate all your support and everything you do for us. And this movie actually was thrown out by Casey and I, but
Yes.
our next movie is Space Adventure. We'll be doing coming soon, and that was given to us by Chris Sales. A lot of movies are given to us by all of our Patreons, so it's a lot of fun. You can check out the full uncut version of this show on Patreon, or you can watch the cut version here on YouTube. Thank you guys. Make sure to give us a like and a subscribe. We appreciate you. Check out our Discord, which is now open. We have lots of great conversations going on there. Great people a part of it. The Snobs Nation
Oh,
Discord
yeah.
is open. Thank you. Check out our show, the Scene Snobs Podcast, live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. Casey and I are getting into a lot of fun topics. We embrace the absurdity, as you should. So join us for that. If you can't watch it live, you can watch it anytime on YouTube or listen to it on all podcast platforms. We appreciate you. Go check out thescenesnobs.com for all our links and more. We have tons of stuff going on our social media. You can follow us at The Scene Snob in most places. And then, other than that, take it away, Case.
Well, grateful as always, and thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, we made your day a little brighter or evening, depending on what time it is for you. Make sure to like, to subscribe, to rate and review us, and be honest. Hit those 5 stars and tell us how you really feel. As always, it's a great time hanging out with you. Thanks for spending a little time with us. Remember to be kind to yourselves and be kind to each other.
All right, everybody. I can't say it better myself. So see? Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.